Now to the story of the week gaining large local and even national attention. It has been exactly 10 days since we first learned that Dr. Ian Roberts was detained by ICE. Since that time, we've learned more about the former Des Moines Public Schools superintendent, including details about his immigration and criminal history. The spotlight also remains on the Des Moines School District as parents, Iowans, local and national lawmakers, and even the Department of Justice closely monitoring these situations. You know, it's a story that you've been working on, I've been working on, Emma, and as we work to get you caught up with everything we know, what threads in this story remain without a conclusion and more.
Yeah, Larissa, that's right. There is plenty to dive into as a lot has happened over the past 10 days. Now, let's start at the beginning when we first learned that ICE detained Roberts on Friday, September 26th. On that day, according to a criminal complaint, ICE agents were surveilling Roberts' Des Moines residence. Agents saw a Jeep Cherokee leave the residence, driven by a man consistent in appearance with Roberts. The Jeep turned into a trailer park, and after ICE agents approached, the vehicle drove away. Officials say agents performed a traffic stop, and Roberts fled after identifying himself. State Patrol and ICE eventually found Roberts, who was then arrested. In Roberts' car, one official found a handgun wrapped in a towel underneath the driver's seat. ICE also says Roberts had $3,000 in cash and a fixed blade hunting knife. Now, in the days after his detainment by ICE, Roberts' lawyers announced that he would be resigning as DMPS superintendent. His lawyers made the announcement on Tuesday. It was approved by the Des Moines School Board 7-0 on the same day. In a letter from Alfredo Parrish, Roberts' attorney, Parrish wrote that Roberts did not want to distract the board, educators, and staff from focusing on educating DMPS's students. In Omaha Immigration Court, Parrish and his legal team did file a motion to stay for Roberts, and they plan to file a motion to reopen his case.
This is a very complex case. It's complex, it's difficult, and there are a lot of what I would call a myriad of issues that are involved.
Roberts started his position on July 1st, 2023, although the criminal complaint filed against him shows his employment authorization expired in 2020.
The Department of Justice eventually took Roberts into custody after he was initially taken into Woodbury County Jail. The DOJ had a federal warrant for his arrest. He was federally charged for possessing firearms as an illegal alien. And most recently, ICE shared with us new claims about Roberts, specifically his criminal record and immigration history. The agency released this information on Friday, and I took a deeper look into the dates and details listed. Here's a full timeline according to ICE. The following timeline is according to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. In 1994, ICE says Roberts first entered the United States as a visitor for pleasure, using a B-2 non-immigrant visa. He left at an unknown time. 2 years later, in 1996, his first criminal charge appears as possession of narcotics with intent to sell them. He also was charged with possession of both forgery and forged instruments, meaning there were claims that he made a false document with intent to deceive. Then, in 1998, Roberts was charged with third-degree unauthorized use of a vehicle, though this was later dismissed in 1999. This is also the year when Roberts entered the U.S. 3 different times on an F-1 student visa. In 2000, he applied for employment authorization, and in September, he left and entered the U.S. both in the same month on this same visa. Going to 2001, Roberts applied for a green card. In the same year, his employment authorization expired. In 2003, his application for a green card was denied. Then, in 2004, his F-1 student visa expired. 8 years later, in 2012, he was convicted for a few different things in Maryland at the same time. This includes reckless driving, unsafe operation, and speeding. Moving ahead 6 years to 2018, Roberts applied 3 more times for a green card and was rejected every time. He also filed for employment authorization documents, which expired the next year in 2019. When he filed for these documents again, those would expire in 2020. Now, this is the year when his 4th and final green card application was declined. He also was charged in 2020 with 2nd, 3rd, and 4th degree weapon possession charges, but the 2nd degree charge was incomplete. During this year, he updated his address, but ICE does not say to where. He also received a notice to appear before an immigration judge.
2 years later, in 2022, Roberts was found guilty with unlawful possession of a firearm. Then, in 2024, he was given a final order of removal from the United States, and a Dallas immigration judge denied the motion to reopen his case in 2025. Last Friday, Roberts was detained by ICE, where they found a gun and fixed-blade hunting knife in his possession. On Wednesday, court documents show Roberts was charged as a, quote, illegal alien in possession of firearms. In the days after Roberts' detainment and the new information about him being revealed, members of the Des Moines School Board have faced some heat. But amid the controversy, the board is defending itself. The Associated Press on October 1st reported that Roberts had not completed one of the doctoral degrees he provided on his initial resume to JG Consulting. That was the firm tasked by the district to search for superintendent candidates. JG Consulting flagged the error, and the resume was revised to note that Roberts completed all but his doctoral dissertation, which is required to earn such a degree. In a statement to Local 5, the board claims it was, quote, a victim of deception by Dr. Roberts, one on a growing list that includes our students and teachers, our parents and community, our elected officials, and Iowa's Board of Educational Examiners, and others.
Over the course of the past week and a half, some students and parents have voiced their frustrations about Roberts' detainment and broader concerns about ICE during school walkouts and protests. Streets were filled with messages saying to free Dr. Roberts, and others objecting ICE's presence in the state. One parent tells Local 5 some students were afraid to show up to school after Roberts' arrest.
We spoke yesterday about it with all of the kids. They mentioned that there was a lot of attendance, that there's a lot of kids that didn't show up on Monday because their families or them are afraid for what could happen.
During the protest, students of DMPS highlighted Roberts' accomplishments while serving as superintendent, regardless of his immigration status.
Looking ahead, several more developments in this Roberts scandal still have no conclusion. That includes future actions taken by Iowa's elected officials.
For example, while the district is figuring out how to move forward from this, the state lawmakers are now saying it's time for the state to step up. Here's Alex Bolton with state senators are proposing.
Republican State Senator Dave Sires on Thursday sent this email out calling for the Iowa Board of Education to take over Des Moines Public Schools.
When you hire the wrong administrator, for whatever reason, superintendent, it's kind of a problem and makes you think that maybe other things aren't done exactly right.
Sires believes that more could come out in light of the scandal involving former superintendent Dr. Ian Roberts. He wants the board to come in and audit the district's hiring practices and verify that all teachers are certified and qualified.
We need to make sure that everything that's going on down there is doing well, and most importantly, that our kids are doing well there, and they're getting the education that we need to give them.
In his release, Sires stated that state law allows the State Board of Education to take control of a district at risk of losing their accreditation. On the other side of the aisle, Democrat State Senator Herman Cormack believes the state should stay out of DMPS.
I think that's a very bad idea. The situation in Des Moines is extremely unfortunate, but I think that the Des Moines School District is the one who understands the situation.
He worries that with a takeover, people from other parts of the state could be on the school board instead of those who live in the district.
The members of the school board were the ones who were chosen by the voters, including the parents of the community, and they are the ones who are best positioned to make the changes that need to be made.
The last school district to be taken over by the State Board of Education was the Davenport School District in 2019. That was because of concerns over the treatment of minority students and those with special needs.
The district is also facing some heat from the federal government. The Department of Justice is now looking into the district's employment practices. The DOJ says the investigation will determine if the district has engaged in discriminatory employment practices that violate Title VII, the Civil Rights Act. It prohibits an employer from discriminating against an individual based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. A department press release cites the school's district's website, which states that educators must match the student population in terms of, quote, demographics and cultural responsivity.
Looking ahead, a legal fight looms between the district and the firm involved in Roberts' hiring. We learned Friday the Des Moines School Board is suing JG Consulting, claiming there was a breach of contract and negligence. They say the search firm should not have recommended Roberts as the candidate, and they later found out he was not authorized to work in the U.S. In the school board's contract with JG Consulting, the firm was obligated to share any positive or negative information regarding candidates.
The firm failed its duty to properly vet candidates. Ian Roberts should have never been presented as a finalist. And if we knew what we knew now, he would never have been hired.
In a statement, JG Consulting attorney Josh Romero says, quote, with regard to Mr. Roberts and his immigration status, he provided the documents necessary to show that he was eligible for the position in Des Moines.